Roosting and one-footing it. Sleepy language. Unlike humans who crawl into bed at night and pull up the covers, parrots spend the majority of their lives standing on their feet, even while they are asleep. Using their feet all of the time can become tiring, and like any other creature, parrot talons can become sore and swollen if they don't get a break every now and then. There are several ways for parrots to take a load off, and so they can get those much-needed breaks. One-footing it is the term we use when a parrot delicately balances on one foot in order to give the other foot a rest. A bird will draw the unused foot up into the chest where their feathers will keep it nice and warm. Once they become tired again, the bird will switch feet to give the still hard-working foot a rest. A parrot who is resting his feet may also appear squinty-eyed, fluffed up, with head nestled in as close to the shoulders as possible. Sometimes they turn and tuck their beak into the back or shoulder area. This body language suggests that a parrot is quickly approaching nap time and may not appreciate being bothered. Roosting is a common behavior among many birds, and parrots are no exception. Parrots roost when they sleep by resting their weight on their haunches, flattening their bodies, and laying with their chests close to or touching the ground. Parrots will typically only roost when they have an adequate surface to lean on and when they feel very secure. Because parrots feel more secure up high, it is not typical for a parrot to roost on the floor of a cage unless they are nesting with or without eggs, or if they are ill. This is a picture of little Sweet Pea, and he's just about to go to sleep. You'll notice that he only has one foot exposed.
Hey, Anna, I have a question.
Yeah.
It's a question that nobody ever has an answer for. Why do they take a bath when you run the vacuum cleaner or you wonder?
You know, I do have an answer for that. I believe that
The bird talkers still looking.
I believe that they do that because in the rainforest or their native lands, when it's quiet, there's usually predators around. Everybody's quiet because they're anticipating, a predator. They're either alarm calling or they're quiet. When something really noisy is going on, like a rainstorm or the vacuum cleaner or the blender or something noisy, it's loud. Everybody's loud, so it's safe. And that's the best time to take a bath because they don't have to watch out for predators. It's my theory. Yeah. Actually, I've heard other people say that too, so it's a multiple theory.
Canaries will also sing if you run the vacuum.
What's that? See, canaries will sing?
Sing a little heart attack.
Yeah, my macaw, my blue and gold macaw will either sing rap or she'll hum or do some kind of crazy, yeah. So. All right, these are all sleepy birds. Bare-eyed cockatoo that's roosting up there in the corner. Below him, that's another view of Sweet Pea. You can see her little foot sucked up there. There's a little hole in the bottom where her foot went. In the middle there, that's umbrella cockatoo Goofy, and she is fluffed up and ready to go to sleep. Next to her is Eclectus flicka, and flicka loves to roost on her metal platform. Some birds they won't roost unless they have a flat surface, and they like to sleep up high, so these platforms are great for parrots who like to roost. She's blind, so it's extra great for her because she has a nice secure place where she doesn't feel like she's going to fall, especially when she's sleeping. Below that is yellow-naped Amazon. I tried to get a picture of him with his beak tucked into his feathers, but he was curious enough about the camera to kind of perk up a little bit, but he had his beak tucked into his back. Above him is a double yellow-headed Amazon. She's roosting there in the corner on her perch and fast asleep.
Wow.
And down in the bottom, those are several macaws cuddling together and squinty-eyed and getting ready for a nap. You are the one for me. What? Regurgitation and crop pumping. Some of these pictures are a little gross. If you have to use the bathroom, now would be a good time. When you think of romance, throwing up is probably the last thing on your mind, unless your ultimate display of love happens to involve holding your partner's hair back while she's sick. Personally, this sounds like a terrible date idea to me, but our feathered friends disagree. Birds are designed to regurgitate their food for offspring, and they also practice this ritual with their partner. be it another bird or a special person. The bottom line, if a parrot decides to share his lunch with you, he is trying to talk you into being more than friends. Parrots feed their mates in order to show them that they are capable of raising young, and every parrot, regardless of sex, wants to be viewed as a good provider. Thankfully, when parrots regurgitate, it is quite unlike our own experiences. Parrots store their food in the crop, where it remains preserved for a short time as it mixes with friendly bacteria to support good health. A regurgitating parrot hunches while making a repetitive head-jerking motion to pump food from his crop. He may or may not latch onto his partner before the food has arrived. Once food has been pumped from the crop, he will push it to the front of the mouth using the tongue. The beak remains agape until food is successfully passed to mate or offspring. Some birds will readily regurgitate for a favored companion, but not all of them actually deliver any food. Some individuals will pump the crop without the goal of regurgitating at all. These birds are attempting to self-soothe in a nervous situation by emulating a hand-feeding situation where they are being fed, and will stretch the neck out and tilt the head back while making an upward jerking motion. Regurgitating. The macaw in the upper left-hand corner again is Peggy Sue. She's a very good tool. She's very cooperative. Hunched and pumping her crop to produce a meal for me. She offers me food only about 50% of the time when regurgitating, and is not attached to whether or not I accept. Below her, which is really good. Below her, that's blue and gold macaw Jessie. Jessie has a strict feeding ritual. She will hold my hand and her foot, rub her face on my hand, and then regurgitate for me. Her movements are more confined and precise. She offers me a meal every time, and she is hurt if I try to pull away from her grip once started. There she is on the left, grabbing my hand in order to put it in her mouth, and the next picture, she is regurgitating for me. Red pellets today. That picture in the corner there, that's Jessie as well, and she is doing a self-soothing gesture. She's self-soothing by simulating a hand feeding. She has assumed the position of a baby bird and is pumping like a chick would, which stimulates feelings of comfort for her. It's like a self-comfort feeding. And I don't know if they actually regurgitate into their mouth and then swallow. I don't know what happens, but that's what it looks like.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.